On the 12th of August, John Dramani Mahama launched the NDC Youth Manifesto, a novel arrangement where the manifesto is launched for the youth only, different from the main manifesto, which the NDC said we should expect at the end of this month. Apparently, it's going somewhere in the central region. We'll get details of that later on. So this is entitled The National Democratic Congress, The Pledge, John Mahama 2024 Election Pledge to Young People. Let's begin with some of the high points that we picked. President Mahama talked first about extend free SHS to cover students in private senior high schools. Okay. That's an idea that President Mahama shared. This is President Mahama who says that he's going to extend free SHS as it is. As I keep saying, and I'll keep reminding NDC that they are not the originators of free SHS. They tried to take it, and then we have stopped them from taking it in because we are on the side of truth. We haven't won any battle against them. We are just on the side of truth, and truth always wins against deceit and lies. So they know that it's a lie that NDC initiated free SHS. It's a lie cooked in hell. They are not going to say it again. But somehow they endorse the free SHS policy, don't they? Suddenly they do. President Mahama's promise to extend free SHS has a missing gap in it, in all honesty. This is President Mahama, who is here to tell us his true idea about free SHS. All the records in the past show that he's been against free SHS. He said that several times. He said that it's not a good policy. He said that it's a policy that is too early because infrastructure should be built, that he began building infrastructure towards developing a free SHS. He said that free SHS cannot spend 2 billion. If he had 2 billion, he will not spend it on free SHS. This is in 2020's election. He also said that Ghana will not do free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. But suddenly in 2024, ignoring all what he said in the past, comes and says that, oh, the free SHS, I will extend it to private schools. Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? It's entirely up to the voting public. But this is how we have to check our people who are telling us what they want to do for us. If they have to come and tell us something and they have a history, and we have to check with their history, nothing bears out more a politician than his history. This is what President Mahama said. One of the videos about free SHS, which you have seen before. Have a look.
Saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa already with free SHS. Saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa already with free SHS. Saying
many mistakes have been made with free SHS. That may also not be true because Rwanda and Kenya, we know, have come to Ghana to borrow Ghana's free SHS, and they are doing it. So this is President Mahama's view of free SHS. He's entitled to it. We're not saying it's wrong or right, but this is a trajectory. He's looking for our vote. He's looking for our social contract so that he will take over our responsibilities, powers, and authorities. And can we trust him on free SHS? Your guess as good as mine. Send your text message because that's what he said. He said he's going to extend it, something that 4 years ago, this video you saw is 2020, it's 4 years ago. And he said, we will not implement free SHS on the whims of the desperate politician, etc. And many African countries have made mistakes. So what has changed? President Mahama is entitled to change his view. There's no question about that. But he has to come to that junction that I have changed my view. That is the honesty and fidelity that we expect from politicians. And that's how we'll go forward and we'll become like Britain, like America, like Canada. There's fidelity because the journalists will remind you that this is what you said, whether the journalist is on your side or not. They'll remind you that if I'm President Mahama's person, I'm working for him. I'll tell him, Mr. President, you have to bring us to the juncture where you can say that this was my view on free SHS. That view has changed, and this is where I stand today before you begin the promises. Let's move on to some of the other things that President Mahama said. Students' loan scheme without a guarantor. President Mahama apparently promised in the Youth Manifesto that he's going to introduce a students' loan scheme without a guarantor. But have a look at this. This is 8th June 2022. Dr. Baumia in his Facebook page says, I launched the no guarantor students loan policy at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi on Wednesday, 8th June 2022. The policy was a promise made by the Nana Akufo-Addo government prior to the 2020 elections to make tertiary education accessible to Ghanaian youth, especially graduates from the highly subscribed free senior high school program. With no guarantor student loan, the cumbersome and restrictive scheme of students providing SNIT contributors as guarantors before they could access student loan for tertiary education has been abolished. NDC communicators, when you were putting the document together, did you suppose that people will not know that this is there? I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, we are running a campaign, we're running an election. There's so much President Mahama can say. Why do you always make him look ridiculous? Why will President Mahama promise something that has been delivered in 2022, already delivered by his opponent, finished, done? Then he promises it in his youth manifesto. But why? Sami Jemfi, Omani Boama, Joyce Bauer, as Felix Ofosu Kwache, Shamima Muslim. What is going on? Don't you know? Can't you just Google something small and know that this promise that you are asking the candidate, the former president, to make has been achieved? It's not that it has been promised already. It has been promised and it has been implemented. Then they go and get him to put it in his manifesto, something that has already been done. Why? Why? Oh, no. No. This is more graphic online. Relief for students. No guarantor loan policy launch. 10th June 2022. We are sitting in August 2024. And the presidential candidate of the opposition, the former president, is promising something that is already part of government policy. Abba! Why? But why? Why is the candidate being made to look ridiculous? Why? Why? What is wrong? There's so much President Mahama can say. So much. Why must he be saying these things? He can either say that he will continue, he can say that he will expand it, but to say that he's going to introduce it. Okay. No academic fees for first-year students. And that's an important one. Before I come to the video, that's an important one. That one is new. But this is my point about policy. So if you initiate a policy for students, F-Cube, began by Rawlings, implemented by Kufuor. F-Cube was begun by Rawlings, as a matter of fact. Began by Rawlings, implemented by Kufuor. Okay. In terms of the ideas, the thought processes began by Rawlings, implemented by Kufuor. Free SHS is Akufo-Addo's policy. Now, when Akufo-Addo started free SHS, can you imagine if he had said that I'm going to do free SHS first year only, so that when you go to second year, you will pay. Then when you go to final year, you will pay. How does the person go through a policy? Because it's one block of school, SHS, senior secondary school. So Akufo-Addo said every year is free. We start from first year. So those who started the implementation, year 1 is free, year 2 is free, year 3 is free. It's been free since then for the last 8 years. Now, if you finish free SHS like that, secondary school, you can go to the police and work. You can go to the immigration. You can get a job around. If it's polytechnic, it's even better. If you get to second university and President Mahama says only first year is free, if you are truly from a poor background, like most of us came from at that time of our lives, most of us came from a background that was really poor. And if you can't pay first year, can you pay second year? What is the mechanism in place for second year? It requires a lot more thinking to be able to have a policy. What policy is first year alone is free? Then what happens? Then the people who finish SSS, who know that they cannot pay first year, they cannot pay second year, decide to go to police. They are in police already. You go to first year, you finish first year, you cannot pay. What happens? You can't have a policy like that. Please, Imani, you are a policy analyst. Tell them that you can't have a policy that is in the middle, halfway. Its trajectory is truncated before the end of the scheme. The scheme is for university education. Before the end of the scheme, the policy relief should not be truncated. You can't have a policy like that. It's an incorrigible policy. It is an incongruous policy. What kind of policy is? So after first year, what happens? I'm at a loss. Are they just taking advantage of us because they think that we won't think? Are they taking advantage of us because they think that we will not research? Are they taking advantage of us because they think that we don't know? They think that we are some people who don't think, so they can come and tell us anything. Can you go and make this announcement in Britain when you are campaigning as Labour Party Prime Minister? You are going to campaign in Britain and tell them that first year will be free, and they won't ask you any question. Civil society, you are not asking NDC any question about the policy. Frankly, Kujo, I saw you put up stuff about Dr. Bawumia, which is great. You are asking him how he's going to achieve certain things, which is fantastic. What about this policy, this incongruous, incorrigible policy? What does it mean? First year is free. Well, let's see what they said about it. There was some clarification. There was some clarification snowballing in the system between Sami Jemfi, who is national communicator and youth organizer, as to what the policy actually means. By the time they finished discussing the policy and got the president to say it, they had not even thought about a single communication to announce the policy and what it means. Have a look at the two videos. First, I think Sami Jemfi.
if you are going to a public tertiary institution, nursing training, college of education, university, polytechnic.
So if
and
it's
let the
free for
naysayers
everyone,
say that it is not possible. We would show that, we would
going to
demonstrate
be
that it
free
is
for
possible.
Maybe first we can get some understanding of the general rules around it. So it will be the academic user fees, not the residential user fees, and it will be for all first-year students in government-run tertiary institutions. Is that correct?
Public universities.
Public universities. Okay. So does that include the technical universities as well?
No, currently it's for the public universities. The technical universities are not part, but going forward.
I like those things they put behind the videos. So Sammy Jemfi says technical universities are part of it. Every tertiary nursing training is part of it. Pablo, the national youth organizer, says no, it is only the public universities. Cape Coast University, University of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah Science and Technology, Ho University, University in Sunyani for natural sciences. That's the sheer little confusion. It is a little confusion, but it is terrible that a political party that has 4 months to say that they want to be the government in waiting, a single policy about free tertiary level 100 fees is signaling a big confusion in terms of the clarity of the policy between Sammy Jemfi, the national communicator, propaganda secretary of the party, and George Opariado. How do we move forward with this? This has nothing to do with John Dramani Mahama. It has all to do with the preparation of the people around him. Omane Boama, the people. The people around him is the preparation. How do you feel when you do a policy like that? The man is going to announce it. You come and script it, that this is how we are going to communicate it. This is the communication line. It means this, it means that, it doesn't mean this, it doesn't mean that. Straight after the show, Sammy Jemfi saying something else, Pablo is telling Joy FM something else. We don't want that. Okay, John Mahama promised to cancel what he called the obnoxious teacher licensing exam. I'm not so sure the reasons that were advanced to cancel the exam. These are people who are teaching our children. We want them to be on top of their toes. Doctors write licensure exam because it is important for them to do that. So when we go, they don't inject me with something for malaria, for typhoid, and confusing himself because they are an essential service. Teaching our children is an essential service. The government says that we want our teachers to be on their toes. John Dramani Mahama and the NDC say because they want to win election, they want to get the teachers who don't want to write the licensure exam, promise them that when we come, you can sit at home, you can reduce your standards, and you'll still be fine. Ghana must be angry with that. Ghana must be angry with that. If there's a soul called Ghana, that soul must be distraught about a political party wanting to take the reins of government and say that the standard of teachers should be lowered. It is a crime against the children and the unborn children of Ghana that the National Democratic Congress will say that the teachers who are going to teach the children, we want them to be ill-prepared. That is a crime against the Republic of Ghana, and everybody should recognize it. Can't you see it, viewers? A political party says that the teachers who want to teach the children, we don't want them to be on their toes. We want them to have low standards to teach our children for the future of this globalized world. John Mahama, this is sad. You can't say this. Now look at the worst of it. If it was such an obnoxious policy, why do we have this one? Graphic Online. New teacher licensure exam starts 2016-2017. This story is September 21, 2016. John Dramani Mahama was president of Ghana. If it is such an obnoxious policy, why did the policy advisors to John Mahama decide to initiate this in 2016? And then if another government comes and is implementing it because of vote winning, Sammy Jemfi tells John Mahama that the teachers don't like the licensure exam. Or do you think the doctors like it? But they have to write it all over the world. Teachers write licensure exam in UK. They write it in America. They write it in Canada. They write it in Russia, in China, in Japan, in Singapore. They write it all over the place. And that's why those countries are what they are. The teachers who are going to teach our children, they shouldn't write licensure exam. They should write one exam at a training college. He will teach for 22 years. No more licensure exams. Really? As for 24-hour economy, Sammy, 24-hour economy, they said, President Mahama explained, he says it means one job, 3 people, and 3 shifts. So I don't know whether this kind of job is part of the 24-hour economy because we are already there. But it means that You will do, the other guy who was on the piece of, and you heard him. So if you are working at Barclays Bank, so 24 economy means that it's your job, but 3 of you will do. So when you close, another person comes. What is somebody come to do at Barclays Bank at 11 p.m. to do banking? What is he coming to do? Who is going to come to the bank? Anyway, Manasseh Azuri has something to say about it, didn't he? Play the video and let's be wrapping up. Play the video.
John Mahama is talking about the 24-hour economy where businesses are working. 8-hour shift and all of that. These messages are not drumming home.
What have we been able to do with the 8 hours? We have not been able to fill the 8 hours with productivity. So for me, the 24-hour economy is not a policy, and I've written about it. Aliza Hotel operates 24 hours because there is business. If you go to a printer who prints, if there is work, nobody will tell the printer to do 24 hours. They will do it. If there's no work, they will shut down their machines and go to sleep. Some hospitals operate 24 hours. You cannot go to the ministries and tell them to operate 24 hours because you want to introduce a 24-hour
You think
policy.
that will not work?
So that should be a byproduct of development and productivity that would compel people to want to spend more hours, high different shifts to work.